Welcome back, everyone. It is Tuesday, the 5th of March, 2026. We are live across the world and we are missing one of 4 guests. But tonight I'm delighted to welcome John Hannam. John is also known as Ordinary Guy or The Ordinary Guy, has a great YouTube channel and a big social media presence himself. John, good evening and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Paul. Welcome. Thank you for inviting me on board.
It's an absolute pleasure. And we have the one and only Sarah White, who just about everyone knows these days. Sarah is fresh from the new Hope Not Hate watch list. I think she got a double mention. I only got one, so it's 2-1 to Sarah on that front. And we are missing a space here, but they should be along anytime soon. You know what they're like.
I'm messaging. We're trying to hurry up.
Yeah, you know what these youngsters are like. Always a nightmare. So, John, welcome to the show. Yeah, John, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself for any of the viewers that haven't seen. I've actually been watching you for some time, and I've always thought I've got to get this guy on my channel, and here you are. So tell us a bit about yourself, mate.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Paul, I've been doing social media stuff really only for about 18 months or so. Sort of fell into it, was a little bit disgruntled at the way things were going in the country, as I think most of us are. Set up initially on TikTok, that sort of took off, and then now on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, etc. And I just put videos on a daily basis, normally sort of 4 or 5 videos a day sometimes, just commenting on latest news, current affairs, events, politics, try and throw a little bit of funny stuff in there now and then, just to get people talking and see what's going on out there.
So have you given your job up now? Are you full-time on social media?
No, unfortunately, no, I'm still not as well paid as you, unfortunately. So,
so
no, I've got a couple of businesses. I've got a small recruitment business and a sort of a flooring and tiling business as well.
Okay, and talking out hasn't affected that. I'll take it you're self-employed.
I am self-employed. Yeah, I've been self-employed for a long time now, and it hasn't affected it as such. I think it probably would affect it if I tried to go back into the proper workplace and try to get a proper job. I'm pretty sure.
I was going to say, mate, wait until you've finished on this show. It might be a bit.
Yeah, no, I've got no plans to ever work for anyone else again. I like working for myself.
Yeah, absolutely. It can't be beaten, can it? Sarah, what have you been up to? We haven't had you on the show for a while, but I've had so many people saying, get Sarah back on, get Sarah back on. So I've given in. Here you are. What have you been up to? I've given in. I've given in.
Like, listen, we're travel buddies and all that. Like, so you give in. I'm very disappointed with that. No, I went to court today, actually.
Right. So, more shoplifting?
Of course.
Yeah, go on. What have you been up to? Why was you in court?
Non-payment of council tax.
Non-payment of council tax, right?
Yeah, because I refuse to pay my council tax because I believe that you sign into an agreement, and I believe that, you know, I was upholding my side of the bargain by paying my council tax. They're taking the money and they're using it for things that I don't agree on, such as war. And, you know, and then also housing undocumented men within our community. They don't fix potholes. They don't collect my bins. They don't do what they're supposed to do. So I believe that they're not upholding their side of the bargain. So, yeah.
To be fair, that's probably applies all over the country, I would imagine. I don't think there's many councils that are actually doing what it's all a bit Trade Descriptions Act, isn't it? Let's welcome our other guest on tonight. Hello, mate. I mean, did we have to wait for the star? Is that the idea? Like you walk on late? Is that what it's all about?
I feel like Paul Pogba at United right now. I'm doing. You know, I don't know what it is, but my mom forced me to, not forced, but she said start making tea the from scratch, not using like what you call it, tea bags and stuff.
Tea bags, yeah.
So I gotta like properly like grind it and stuff, and it's like, where's the best tea ever, to be fair?
Listen, Baraka, all I've got to say, my old mate, is this: is that if you're feeling like Paul Pogba this evening, if you're anywhere near his income, I'm going to have a word with you later on. You're going to have to share it around, mate, right? So, you know.
We're all in that situation right now. We need a Paul Pogba in here.
God, dear, oh
dear. I think he has got his finances. Have you seen the way Baraka dresses sometimes? He looks proper dapper.
I don't know why people always think that. Like, I had to cut down on my suit because people are thinking like, I don't know. Like, I just think it's just normal suits. I like wearing nice suits. Like, I like good suits. So I just now I'll put t-shirts on. I guess I gotta fit in, even though I already do fit in because I'm not rich.
I've got some bad news from Spain today, guys. This is going to piss people off, but I've got some bad news today. It actually rained today for the 5th time in the year that I've been out here.
We had a glorious sunny day today for
I know you did. I know, yeah. I thought, I thought, bloody hell, I've got to get home. No, seriously, it rained. I've been out here a year next month, and this was only the 5th time that it has rained. So it's actually quite nice, you know that. It's nice to see a bit of rain, but within about 10 minutes, I'm thinking this can hurry up and go away, Soon. Can't stand the rain. Baraka, what have you been up to? What have you been up to, mate? You've been a busy man, haven't you? What have you been doing?
Been causing trouble for sure.
Apart from making tea, tell us what you've been doing.
It takes me a long time to make this, but I've been live streaming. I've been active. I've been working. Fixing a lot of problems off the social media business, but we managed to launch something. We managed to launch a 24-hour broadcast signal, so we'll be active for 24 hours, so I don't have to.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So that is something that the guys are loving it right now as we speak.
That'd be something to look forward to. Now, you've been out and about on the streets, Baraka, recently. What's the mood been out? Whilst you've been out, what have you been finding?
So a lot of things right now in Manchester, especially Manchester. I don't know if you guys have seen it. You've seen it yesterday. There was a huge protest that took place in Manchester. The pro-Iranians, the guys who want the Shah back in Iran were taking it to the street. They've been taking it to the street for a very long time now. I think they started, I don't know when they started, but they've been doing it since December. So it's a routine. It's a thing that they've been doing for a very long time. But the pro-IRGC came out as well yesterday, so you could see them. There was a lot of police officers there, of course, to make sure that they don't clash. And that's what's been happening in Manchester. It was also happening in Birmingham today. We had a couple guys over there recording what was taking place in Birmingham. That was live today, which obviously ended like at 8 o'clock. And a lot of protests have been taking place. Nothing to do with Britain as well. Nothing to do with any of our domestic problems here. It's all problems that's happening in the Middle East.
Yeah.
It looks like it's in the street of Britain now. So.
Yeah, well, I can tell you, I've got a few distant family members out in Dubai at the moment and in the UAE, and they're telling me that tonight I spoke to another family member earlier who had spoken to them because they are quite distant. Although they're within my family circle, they are quite distant. And the last I heard this afternoon is they're going to be spending the night under the stairs. So, it's pretty, pretty rough out there at the moment. And I think a lot of people are also potentially getting into trouble for reporting what is going on. It seems the Emiratis don't want the outside world to know just how bad it's been. So
I think it's really bad than what we think of is because what we see is like I think what we see is like 70% of it. I think is way bad than what we see.
Yeah,
the Emiratis are heavily clamping down on all the videos that people are recording. First of all, there's some credible reason why they're doing that. They're not doing it because they want to censor people. They're doing it because they want to make sure the IRGC, the Iranian people, are not able to see the videos and see if the target were accurate. They want to make sure that the Iranians, the IRGC, if they launch a missiles and they see the video being posted, that's them seeing the impact that they made. So then they keep on obviously launching that and making sure that if they see a video that came out showing their missiles missed, then of course they change the latitude and longitude, whatever they do, to make sure they hit the right target. So that's why that's one reason why. And the second reason is to make sure that it doesn't affect the economy in a sense where the travel economy, the holiday economy, whatever you want to call that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
wanna make
I think
sure
that's going to be. I think that's going to be affected. Mario, we're not going to be talking about football tonight, Mario. I've got to say, you thoroughly deserved that last night. And if you're watching the Spurs Palace game, you're probably going to be even happier this evening, because when I left it, Tottenham were in trouble.
man, that was disaster.
Let's have a little look. Yeah. John, what do you make of this UAE situation? Have you been out there much? Do you know the place?
I don't. I've got a friend out there who lives out there and runs a business out there, and he said that he's just getting on with life as much as normal as he can. And I think it's affecting the situation, but I don't necessarily think it's sort of as dramatic as some people are sort of making out. I had two friends, funnily enough, that were out there on holiday when it all kicked off, and they managed to get back. They went cross country to Amman, got a flight from Muscat to Riyadh, and then Riyadh back to London. So they sort of planned their own escape route and got out. I think from our point of view, I think the way I view it is that people in this country, I think, are becoming a little bit cheesed off with overseas events having such a big effect on our streets. We've had the Palestine Gaza marches going on for 2 years. We've now got Iran playing out on our streets. And for what it's worth, I mean, I fully support the Iranian people. I hope they can overthrow the regime, but at the same time, I don't necessarily want that plan out on our streets. And what puzzles me is that you've got, apparently I read it was 6 or 8 universities, you've got students protesting in favor of the regime and protesting against Khomeini getting bumped off. And I can't get my head around that. I don't understand how British liberal students that have got a great life can be protested in favor of a regime like that. It's completely bonkers.
Well, it's stark hypocrisy to my mind, and it just seems that they'll go after, or they'll support anything. Sarah, I'll come to you on this one. They support anything that is anti-British and anti-America, anti-Western. You know, it doesn't matter. Anti-Israel, they'll support it.
Yeah, they'll just go whatever is right, they'll go against. That's it. So it's whatever should be being done, they go against it. Whatever what morally we should be supporting, they go against it. They just haven't got any sort of common sense. And to protest in favor of a regime that has persecuted people, murdered, tortured people for a long time, had them, living in the worst sort of environment you would want anyone to live in, and they're okay about it, and they're protested in favor of it. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. But then what flag are they going to hold up next? What are they going to be in favor of next?
Well, I'll tell you the flag it won't be, Sarah. We all know the flag that it won't be that they're holding up. There's only one flag they won't hold up, and that's their own.
Our flag.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, there's no other flag they're gonna hold up. They've held up almost every single flag. They've hold up the Islamic flag,
running
ISIS
out
flag,
soon, won't
every
they?
single flag.
I'll tell you what, the last 2 years, flag makers have made an absolute fortune. That's for sure.
For sure.
Yeah,
So,
crazy.
I won't bring the football up. I'll just keep getting little messages like this, so I'll just leave them alone and leave them. I'll let them get on with it in the chat tonight. John, before we come on here, you was talking about the grooming gang inquiry. I know there's been some bits and pieces on that today. Give us your take on it, please.
Well, I mean, it was announced. When was it? Was it June last year? Sort of May, June last year. The government announced
there or thereabouts. Yeah,
they were going to launch it, and then it sort of they kicked the can down the road. Nothing going on. And then obviously Rupert Lowe and Sammy Woodhouse sort of launched their own private inquiry, which took place a couple of weeks ago. And some of the stories that came out of there were horrific. I don't know if you saw some of the testimonies and some of the stories. And I think that sort of forced the government's hand to some extent. So Shabana Mahmood in the last couple of days has announced that, as far as she's concerned, it's pretty much ready to go. They've got the chair in place, they've got the panel in place, and it's going to be starting fairly soon. But what they've done is they've published the draft terms of reference, which essentially are the rules of engagement, what they can investigate, what they can't investigate, what they're going to do. And some of the stuff that's in there just makes it read like a complete cover-up. There's so many things that they're not going to be able to look at. There's so many things that they're going to get to decide on, so much evidence that they're not going to be able to look at. And it's just going to be 3 years of wasted stuff, kicking the can down the road again. And by the time, I mean, I can't see this government winning the next election, and they're going to be long gone by the time this even reaches a conclusion, I think. I mean, I put a video on today, which is sort of about a 9-minute long one, but I'm going to do a longer one tomorrow going through these terms of reference in detail. But some of the stuff that's in there is shocking in terms of what they're going to cover up.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to go? Sorry, Baraka. Do you want to go through one or two of those bits?
Yeah, just to add up on that, earlier on today, Katie Lamb, the Conservative MP, she came out and obviously on GB News, she announced that they will not investigate the race and the religion of those people who played a part. Yeah. And I think this is the reason why a lot of people are, of course, mad about this grooming gang as a whole, because it was one group targeting another group. And of course, religion is involved, race is involved, because it wasn't just like random guys, maybe white, black, Asian, and all together just finding girls. No. It was one group. Well, we can say now it was a lot of this group coming from this other side, that religion, going.
It's a lot of Pakistani men.
Yeah. We gotta be careful how we say it nowadays.
Girls.
So.
Yeah,
but this is the thing. We should be allowed to call it out for what it is, because if it was white men targeting Asian or Pakistani girls, it would be said like that.
Yeah,
it would be. That's exactly how it would be said. And if it was, say, white Polish, if it was white English, they would clearly say it was English. They wouldn't say white. They would make it clear that it wasn't anybody else from Eastern Europe. They would make it very clear about who they are. They would say British men.
Sorry. I mean, if you've got time, I've got 9 quick bullet points I can highlight.
Yes,
to you
please, John.
I'll quickly whiz through. I'll put the specs on because I'm blind as a bat.
John, just before you do, I just want to read out this first super chat. Charlie says, thanks, Charlie. Hi, Paul. Will you be opening up the phone lines later on? Big love. Brother, fantastic show again. Well done. Keep doing what you're doing too, Patriot man. Do you know what, Charlie? I'm going to do that. If anyone, I'm going to put the link in the chat here. Okay, so the link is going in the chat. If anyone's got a question for myself, for John, for Sarah, for Baraka, you're welcome to come on. I'll just put your voice up tonight, unless you misbehave. John, fire away, mate.
So I'll whiz through these because they're a little bit lengthy. So the very first section of the terms says that the panel may, not must, but may decide what gets examined. So they can decide whether they look at which organisations are involved, which religions are involved, which cultures are involved, any wider crime. It's may, not must. They also have not got the right to explicitly demand all communications. So, for example, politicians, local councillors, police, internal memos, internal emails, they can't demand that they're produced. So the police can decide which information they give up. The politicians can decide which information they hand over. The panel has not got the right to demand that. It looks like nobody's going to go to prison. It says in the terms that where any failures are identified in any of these bodies, referrals to professional bodies will be made. So they're not going to refer this to the National Crime Agency, to the CPS, to the courts. They're just going to refer it. So the police, for example, will refer it to the Police Complaints Board. Well, that doesn't necessarily lead to anything. And what we really want to see is anyone who's actually actively covered this up, actively done wrong, be charged for it and go to prison and get nicked and go away because it's that serious. But that doesn't look like that's going to happen. There's going to be no examination of any of the past sentences. So anyone that has got a suspended sentence or got a year or 2 years when in reality they should have got 5 or 6 or 7 years, they're not going to go back and look at any of the past sentences or past convictions. The chair of the panel and the government get to decide, this is unbelievable, which locations they're going to look into. So they've called it a national inquiry, but they've basically said that because it's so big, because it's in 50 or 60 cities, they can't do all of those. So they're going to decide which towns and which locations they get to examine. So that in theory means they could leave out the worst ones if they want. And that's not going to be discussed publicly. That's the government and the panel deciding that. And also where there are current active criminal cases going on, the inquiry can't look at that. So you might have seen, I think it was South Yorkshire Police this week, where it's been alleged that some of the actual police themselves didn't just cover this stuff up, but actually took part in the abuse. Well, where that's been alleged and where there's an investigation going on, the inquiry can't step on their toes, so they won't examine those areas. So that could be going on all over the country. So there's going to be loads of locations where the inquiry won't even be able to look into it because there's active police investigations going on. So the whole thing is just a complete mishmash. It's not going to get to the bottom of it. It's not going to lead us where we want to go.
No, not at all. And as I said at the bottom of the screen there, it's running across the screen. It's a waste of bloody time. And it's also, in my opinion, worse than that. I think it's a sham. And it's all part of a big cover-up. Let me welcome Charlie onto the show. Sorry, Sarah. Let me just bring Charlie in.
Yeah, go on.
Charlie, can you hear me?
Hello, Paul. How are you, mate? You all right?
I'm very well, Charlie. Good evening. How are you doing? What's on your mind, brother?
I just wanted to talk about, obviously, everything that's been happening with Restore. Now, I saw a post from Rupert where he was talking about, it was something along the lines of where he's talking about people putting Restore down and, you know, and how people have been trying to put Restore down. That's not the case, Rupert. What we're calling out is the people you've got around you that are going to put your party down, because the posts that have been put up, whether obviously you was aware or not, if that was any other party, they would take action against it, and that's what needs to happen.
Charlie, it's a really interesting point. I'm going to cover later on in the show. I'm going to cover Ben's leaked message today, which described Restore as racist.
Right.
And I'm going to give my view on Ben's leaked message. I don't know who leaked that. I mean, that's obviously come from someone that he trusted. So that's a disappointment in the first place. But nonetheless, I'm going to tell everyone what I think about that. And then I'm going to tell you why he thinks that. And I'm going to get into it a little bit more deeper later on in the show. Charlie, I don't know why you got the chance. Have you got a question for Sarah, Baraka, or John?
I just want to ask you guys, because obviously I've spoke to Paul a lot, and Paul agrees with me, right? Is that I've told Paul as well, like, I am a Reform member, but we're all on the same side. Now, I don't believe, and I've been critical of Nigel Farage. Paul, you know I have. I've been on there a lot. I've criticised Nigel. I don't think how can we get these men that are at the top of these parties around the table? Because I see members of these political parties, like you've got people that are members of Restore and Advance and Reform, all fighting amongst each other. When actually we can't do anything about it. It's the guys at the top of the parties that are in charge of it. So how can we as patriots get these men around the table to sit down and act like bloody adults? Because they're acting like a bunch of kids in a playground.
Yeah, I mean, great question. I mean, Sarah, do you want to go first on that one?
I think a crucial thing from all patriots is to try and respect one another to begin with, so that there's not loads of infighting going on between patriots. Instead of all going like all of us should all be saying what when the left are supported, all of their supporters and members are just all so to be in one certain way, and that's what we should be doing. We should be all supporting the right and the views that we have, but I just find too many people want to pick. So the moment I left Reform, it was like, she's this and this, and I got trolled terribly, and certain things have happened, and I get such backlash. But you want what I want, because I still want this country to succeed, and I want a safe, fair and secure future. And I don't care what political party you're from. We should all, if we're all from the right, that's what we want.
Yeah,
so
100%.
I think that a massive thing is all patriots, instead of digging someone out because they've gone to another party, just calm down and just see where it goes.
Yeah.
And then maybe if we are the bigger people, maybe the people of these parties who are more in charge might then unify, because they go, well, if all of them are unifying and if all of them can get on, then it could have a knock-on effect. I believe in that domino effect of just
Sarah, let me get this right. Are you really asking politicians to get their act together and start acting like grown-ups?
Well, I'm hoping that traditional politicians no longer serve politics. I'm hoping that a new wave of people come in, and this is where patriots need to come through and take them positions. But if you're going to act like bloody children and still be like how politicians are, well, what hope do we have? Because we do need a new wave of people. We do need people from working class backgrounds. We need ground level people who understand how society works, who are inflicted with these policies, these legislations. Like all of us know what it's like to have these policies put upon us. The politicians have no idea. They're lucky if they even wipe their own backside. Let's face it, their children get driven to school by chauffeurs. They have private healthcare. They have private schools. And good luck to them. Absolutely good luck to them. I have nothing against that. And if you've done well for yourself, but if you're imposing legislations and policies on the rest of the country, then I think that you should have to have them imposed on yourself as well.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that.
I'm sorry, I'm ranting.
To be honest, I'm a bit of a pragmatist and a realist. I don't think they will get their heads together. The thing that will make them get their heads together is a good dose of reality. And I think what's going to happen is, as you get closer to an election, if it looks like Labour are resurging, or the Greens are doing well, or the Green/Muslim Alliance is doing well, then I think it might give them a bit of a slap around the face and a wake-up call, and they might recognise that actually we can't do this on their own, because politics has changed in this country. We've gone from having sort of a two-party state to now having 5 or 6 parties. You've got the Greens, you've got Labour, you've got Lib Dems, you've got Conservatives, you've got Reform, you've got Restore, you've got Advance. There's so many. So I think for the first time ever in this next election, there's a very strong chance you're going to get a proper hung parliament. And if that happens, people are going to have to form alliances. And at that stage, we need that alliance to be on the right of politics, whether that's Reform and Restore, or Reform and Advance, or Reform and even the Conservatives maybe, because whilst none of us respect the Conservatives, as Baraka said earlier, there are some good people coming through. People like Katie Lamb and stuff like that are doing really good work. She's brilliant. So as long as we get a government that thinks of this country first and puts its people first, I don't think we can end up being too choosy about who that government is.
Just add on that.
Sorry, can I just say one more thing before I drop down?
Go on, mate. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to say as well is that I don't think people actually understand that the Greens are gaining popularity. As mad as that may sound, they're gaining popularity and fast. Apparently, they've gone through 200,000 members. Now, I don't understand how, but it just shows you that unless we get our act together and unless everyone on the right stops fighting and arguing with each other, we're going to be finished, and it's going to happen soon. And this right now, that's the reason why I'm not leaving Reform, because at the moment they are the only ones at this moment that can get Labour out. At the moment, that's how I see it. They're the only ones that can get Labour out, and that's who I'm going to stick with. And obviously, if things change over the next couple of years, then I will change to Advance or Restore, but things need to change on the right first.
Yeah, Charlie, I can tell you one thing. I can tell you why they've got over 200,000 members is because they've closed all the lunatic asylums. So all those people are now free to do whatever they want to do. Baraka, what was your take on Charlie's question?
Yeah, Charlie brought up. I think John brought up the Greens. I wanted to add. You see how the left is so united. The fact that the Greens were running in Gorton and Denton by-election. Now it's Hannah Spencer on a ticket, but the person who turned up to support her was Jeremy Corbyn. Yeah. Jeremy Corbyn turned up to support somebody who was not in his party. That goes to say that if the right doesn't sort itself out, you're going to get the Greens and your party leading the country in the next 4 years. And that is just a wake-up call. And I try to wake up these guys, but they are very vicious in whenever you try to try to state some facts. And but yeah, the Greens, I think the Greens will be out, will be leading the country the next thing. Now, I don't want to discredit them. I don't, obviously Paul mentioned that they closed their asylum. But I don't want to discredit them because they did a massive job during this, Gorton and Denton by-election. And I wanted to, we tried to, I was on a call later on with Ben, and I wanted to kind of show him like, hey, this is what they're doing and this is why they won. And we pieced out everything. And these guys have won the media game. They're not fighting anymore. They are just accelerating hard. And guess what? There's nobody in their way because the right is too busy fighting each other. We're too busy trying to label, who's going to be deported first? Which one is too brown? I mean, I don't want these people in my group. And we always just fighting each other, while the Greens are literally having their runway cleared. And they're about to take off, and I think they'll be the next government if we don't.
You know what makes me laugh, Paul, guys, as well? Do you know what makes me laugh, right? Is that if Zach Polanski went to half of these Arab countries, he'd be chucked off a building.
Absolutely, yeah.
Tied to a chair and chucked off.
Exactly.
He'd need to see a dentist then. I mean, he needs to see one now, but he definitely need to see one then. Charlie, thank you so much, mate. Really love having you on. Thank you, and
thanks, Charlie.
Charlie's great. He always talks so much sense. Let's. I've got Jack. Jack, have you got a question for the panel, mate? Good evening.
Yeah, about the police force, because how there's people on the right who have been getting arrested and have been getting dragged down the station to places and stuff like that, like just because either they said something positive about Tommy, and things like that. I've had that because, like, not last year, the year before, when I first started speaking about Tommy Robinson on X, straight away, Thames Valley Police knocking on my door saying, what are you doing? And I'm like, why is this? But whereas idiot lefties can incite hatred at people, but then they get off the hook. I'm like, what the hell? Don't you agree?
Well, that, Jack, is two-tier policing, and that's been going on now for a very long time, John, right?
Mm.
Absolutely, in all walks of life as well. I mean, we've seen so many examples of it. I mean, look at all the amount of people that have been arrested for so-called hate speech online, for tweets. They're always on one side of the equation. It's never the people that are on the left of politics. It's never the Antifa, hope not hate type people that get arrested, that get nicked, that get banged up. It's always people like us. And yeah, I mean, the entire upper echelons of the police, the commissioners, are all university graduates now. They all go through certain training camps. They all get, they're political appointees. They're not police anymore. And they basically give the orders out, and the minions have to follow the rules. What surprises me is that apparently there's a recruitment crisis in the police. More and more people are leaving. A lot of the good ones are leaving, and they're struggling to recruit people.
Is there any wonder? Is there any wonder? Jack, thank you so much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. Sarah,
hi, Jack.
There's rumours going around that me and you I've seen it in the chat. People are saying that we'd fallen out. What the hell's all that about? Where did that come from?
What the hell?
They make this stuff as they go along, don't they?
This is the thing, like, and people jump to all sorts of conclusions. Why would we fall out? Why on earth? What? Because you made your thing. You stepped down from the college, and I have been on multiple times sticking up for you when people have said stuff. So where on earth have they got this from? Do they not see? Everyone sees what I say somehow.
They make it up as they go along. They love it. But you know what, Sarah? It's better to have people making stuff up about you than ignoring you, right? Let's bring in one of your latest. Let's bring in one of your newest fans. Alan, good evening, my friend. How are you?
Good evening, my friend, and good evening to your distinguished guests.
and Sarah. And Sarah. Don't forget.
Well, you see, she's holding something back from you, Paul. She didn't tell you that she's now my new girlfriend.
Is that what it is, John? Is that what it is? Right, okay. Go on.
Right.
How are you, mate?
True.
Okay?
This is true.
I'm doing fine. I was talking to this young man down at the bottom, my friend Brack.
That's right.
Earlier on. And he loves talking to me.
That's right.
And we were having a good chat, and he asked me how we would get them all in the room. Now, this will answer Charlie's question. Doing what we're doing now, talking about it, getting it all out there, so they'll start to listen. Because this can't be won on your own. I'll tell you that now, Rupert. I'll tell you that now, Ben. I'll tell you that now, Nick. It cannot be won on your own. You've got to get in a room, you all heading and saying the right things, saying it in a different way. You've got to swallow your pride. You've got to sit down with one another. You've got to talk, right? And this is not the question what I'm going to ask. This distinguished panel as you put them together tonight, which is very, very nice of you to do so, Paul. But they've got to get together, and that's it. It's the only way we're going to win. It's the only way you're going to win a general election if they all unite on the right together. Come together, put your differences aside, bring the Christianity back, do this, do what Rupert wants, do what Ben wants, and then sort the rest out as you're going along. You know, it's just like you're building a party, but build it together, bigger. And also, have one more man in that room. The only man on this country's ground that can put millions on the streets and put millions behind you. And that is Tommy Robinson.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's what you want. That is what you need in that room. And the other one who knows how to plan and build is Ant Middleton. He was in the services like myself. So he knows how to plan from the bottom upwards. Because that's what we have to do in the army. We have to plan from the bottom upwards. Right?
Alan, every single name that you've mentioned there have been on my hit list, for want of a better expression, to try and get them all around the table. And apart from Rupert, I mean, I've been with all of them, and they're all. Well, Nigel is the one that doesn't want to know, right? So let's put him out of the equation. Let's forget Nigel. He thinks he can do it all by himself, and he may turn out to be right. Okay.
Forget about Nigel.
Yeah,
Rupert,
forget about Nigel.
I don't believe for 1 minute Rupert is an ethno-nat. I do not believe that, because he's not that type of person. You've got to listen to the way he speaks and the way he explains things. He comes across, he might have come across on his speech a bit abrupt, but he was trying to put it in a way that I would put it as an old man. You're gonna have this whether you want it or not. You're going home whether you like it or not, and this is what we're going to be doing, and this and that. And we're getting back to basics. But he was telling the people instead of explaining it to them. That's the way it came across to me.
Yeah.
Right?
No, look, I like Alan. Alan, let me just say this. I like that about Rupert. I think a lot of people love the way that Rupert speaks.
Yeah.
The issue for me, the issue for me, or the slight concern I have is I'm not so sure that he's good. I'm not so sure that he's so much of a team player with the public. Now, one of the things is that Rupert was the chairman of a Premiership football club, and I worked at a Premiership football club. I knew Premiership chairman, right? What the clever ones do is they get people in that understand the fans, that understand the football club, and that understand the chairman himself.
Correct.
Now, it might just be that Rupert needs people, and I'm not saying that I'm the man for the job. Bloody hell, you'd be better off with people like Sarah or Baraka or John or whatever. Just ordinary people, right, that have got a voice and that know the people and that can converse with them and act as a middleman to bring everyone together and relay. This is what I did like about the college. If there was a problem with my viewers, I could go back to Ben and relay it. I don't feel that we have that with Nigel, but then, with Rupert. We might not need it.
Well,
we might not need it.
I think.
But just to add on that,
I agree with your analogy, but where you're wrong is this: you've got to be careful on the people you have around you, and he's got the wrong type of people around him. I'm sorry, but that's the way it looks to me, right?
Baraka, did you want to come in there?
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say. Just like what you mentioned there, you got the wrong people around him. It's not about the wrong people. He's chose those people to be around him. He's the guy who's he chooses who's to follow back, he chooses who to engage with. He's a man who a lot of people want his attention, and the ones who have captured his attention are right now. You're mentioning the wrong people. Yes, I agree, but maybe this is what he wants. He's a grown man. He's making the decision. He made the decision to launch a party, and I'm sure he's able to make a decision who he's going to reply to. And that
what I would say is, Baraka, in defense of those around him, I mean, I haven't actually seen anyone that's in the party say anything particularly outrageous. It's more people that are, I would say, more people that are supporting him very closely, that people perceive to be around him.
Yeah. Now, it's not about as you already know, perception is the reality now.
Yeah.
We don't go with who, what
You're
does
right.
he really
Yeah,
think?
perception is the reality. Yeah.
Who does he like? What sort of books he's been reading, or all who's engaging with? Whatever is out there in the public domain is what is true. Now, he might be the guy who's out there, the thing that you just said is not the man who we think it is, but this is the image publicly, and this is what the media has been capturing, and this is what we have to say about it, because this is the information that we can lay to the people, saying, hey, these are the people who are aligning with him, and these are the people here that he's reposting on X, and this is what we can say. It's not about, I'll leave it on that. Perception is really reality, and we're getting more of that.
The question to you all is this. I would like to see the next parliament, when it's formed, whichever party, I would like to see from the top down, I'd like to see the heads roll by 12 of their peers in a dock, right, in court, using British justice the way it should be.
Yeah.
If they're found guilty of treason, MPs down, or right away down to the bottom of the cops, till it comes to the average policeman on the street, then they have nothing to do with it, because they're just following orders. So we're talking about the police chiefs here, and we're talking about the MPs. Their heads have got to face 12 of their peers in a law court, in a justice court, and if they're found guilty, they've got to go to jail. It's as simple as that. Over all these cover-ups about the groomings, everything, the law, everything, they've got to be dealt with.
Absolutely spot on, John. 12 of their peers. What do you make of that?
Listen, we'd all love to see that, but the reality is that the system protects itself. It always has done. If you know anything about history, go back as far as you want in history, other than possibly Oliver Cromwell and the English Civil War. That's never happened. The people that are in charge run the show. They dictate the rules. They set the agenda, and then they get their mates in the media to peddle that agenda. So, again, you've got to deal in reality. We know what we'd all like to see, but realistically, is that going to happen? What's interesting about Rupert as well is he says some very strong things about immigration. He says some very strong things about nationality, about culture, about identity, and that gets hammered by some people in the press, and a lot of people jump on board with that. But look at the easy ride. We talked about Zach Polanski and the Greens. They want complete open borders. They want to legalize all drugs, including like GHB and date rape drug. And the things they're saying, the things they're advocating, are twice as bad as anything that restore.
And they get a free run.
They're getting an easy ride. No one's really flagging it up. So again, what Baraka said, it all comes down to perception. It all comes down to media portrayals. And people like us might be able to talk the truth. Occasionally, you might get a bit of truth on GB News, but the reality is on BBC and ITV and Sky and BBC Two and Channel 4, you're never going to hear those sorts of conversations.
Yeah, Baraka, could we? I mean, sorry, Alan mentioned the fact that he'd like to see, these people in court in front of a judge and a jury. Do you ever see that happening? Do you think that's possible? Are the British people actually now in such a foul mood that eventually that's what they could demand? I mean, the weight of public opinion, do you ever think it could get us there?
Oh, that's a strong one. That's assuming everybody is holding hands. And the way we divide, the way how scattered we are in this country, I don't know. Not anytime soon. Right now, I think it would be something that we would love to see, but the way it's going, we can't even get that on the right. Never mind the whole public holding hands and saying, "Hey, we want this." I don't know. It's an interesting take. I think
believe it. I believe it will
engage with
happen.
more.
I believe it will happen, but probably not for 20 years. Just like when they knew Jimmy Savile was up to it. They waited until he died before they brought it all out. Sarah, your opinion?
Yeah, it's not gonna. If it does happen, it's not gonna happen for a very long time, because the problem is the corruption runs so deep. So when you start looking at MPs, then councillors, social workers, police officers, everybody knows that their neck is going to be on the line. Too much of the population, they're not going to vote in favour of that. You're going to have wives of husbands and probably know that something's going to happen. Whoa, we ain't voting. We ain't voting in favour of that. It just runs too deep. And the problem is the corruption in, say in politics or in the police force. If there's corruption in the police force, the person who then takes over the person's job when they retire, they make sure that they put into position someone who is equally as corrupt as them, so it doesn't uncover the corruption that they committed whilst in that position. So then what happens is the corruption gets bigger. So over time, it's got worse and worse and worse, to now it's at a level where we're all like, everyone can see it now, but who's calling it out? Like, it's being called out, but not to the level where it's going to be exposed. And when we go back to, like, even with the rape gangs, it's great that has happened. However, why aren't they funding an inquiry into the rape gangs that are still going on and exposing them? Because there's children still being raped.
Correct.
It's happening on a daily basis. They're still being groomed. Why isn't there an inquiry and an investigation to exposing them? It's terrible what's happened to people in the past. I'm not taking away from that, but there should be both. And we should be trying to stop what's going on to prevent it going any further. We now can't go in 20 years' time. All of the children that are being raped and groomed right now, we're going to do an inquiry in 20 years' time on them. No, put money and funding into stopping and calling that out immediately and stopping it. Because that's where it needs to be stopped. We need to learn from what's happened and stop what's going on now and stop it from going forward. So it's not going to happen. We know that it's not going to happen. So it just is a terrible time that whether you're left or right, that we can't all unite over something that we need to expose what's going on in our country. And that's how divided people are. Stop fighting left and right.
Very well said. Alan, I'm going to let you go, my friend, because we have other people waiting to come in. Thank you so much, brother.
When is he
I really
taking me out?
appreciate it. When there you go, Alan. When is he taking you out? Right, just before we go any further, we've got 1,600 people watching. Please give us an upvote. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Would really appreciate that.
Let's subscribe to the show, guys.
Get over to Baraka, get over to Sarah's, get over to John's, drop them a sub, and don't forget, more than anything, you see that thing running along the bottom of the screen below there? Register to goddamn vote. That's more important than anything. Julie,
I like it how you said get over to my show. Well, I don't run anything through it yet.
You're not doing anything. Julie, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Hey, Julie, good evening. How are you?
I'm all right. First of all, to Baraka, I'd just like to say, mate, we love you for you. And that's it.
Thank you.
Just for you. Sarah, can we all please stop? Can we just get back to basics? Right. Sovereignty is our borders. These pronouns. Nationalism is for anyone that loves the country and the flag. And also, Sarah, as a female, I do think these male politicians sometimes get off track. Don't know if it's a male thing, but male pride seems to always get in the way a lot. They need to stay on course and remember why they wanted to do this in the first place. That's it.
Good shout.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Julie.
It's
John.
the egos.
Yeah, John. Thank you, Julie, so much for that,
Yeah,
darling. I hope you're well.
Just to add on that, Julie, thank you so much. You are right that there's a lot of ego that plays on. As you already know, men are eagered by, we're driven by a lot of stuff. It's not just getting the job done, but it's how quickly can I get it done before somebody else.
Yeah.
Who, gain the image, gain the story, gain to say, I did it before somebody else get to say it. I think that comes in a way. And that's the reason why we're here today with Nigel running his party and he's doing the thing, the pictures on him. He's getting all the medals. It's, he's getting ready to capture the country as a whole. Same thing with Rupert. He's running his thing. Same thing with Ben. Almost everybody else is doing their own thing. And that is because they have some personal ambitions. So we might know, politicians just do the talking, but we know for sure as men, we know there's something that's there. You got to have a little bit of ego to drive you. Sometimes it's too much that ruins everything. And I agree with that.
You're muted, Paul.
Sorry, John, what's your view on the male ego?
I don't know. What is it, Paul? Listen, we've all got an ego. We all like to be told we're wonderful. We all like to achieve things. I think as you get a little bit older, I'm getting on a bit now, and it becomes a little bit less important. You become a little bit wiser, and you learn that it's not the be all and end all. When you're in your 20s, you want to be the king of the world, and you want to be rich and famous, and go out with beautiful women, etc., etc. But you start to realize as you get older that's not the be all and end all, and you start to value other things, whether that's family or security or whatever it might be. I think the problem is, when you're in the public eye, when you're in the limelight, like all these politicians are, they're constantly surrounded by people telling them how fabulous they are and saying, yes, Nigel, yes, Ben, yes, Rupert, 3 bags full, sir. And it becomes a habit. And I've known a few people that are sort of very wealthy, that are rich, that do well for themselves. And even they admit that it's very difficult to get out of that loop once you're stuck in it.
True.
It's interesting, John. It's interesting you say that, because a minute ago I mentioned, working at a Premiership football club for 4 years, and it's the same with footballers. The one of the reasons that footballers have this bit of a swagger and a bit of an attitude about them, not on all occasions. I met some wonderful footballers, but as people, but they're not used to anyone telling them no.
Yeah,
that's right.
They don't really understand the word no, and when they do hear the word no, or they hear an opposing view, they don't really take it very well sometimes. And I think you're right. I think age does ground you. Look, we have got one bit of good news tonight. There's a new game show on the way, apparently. Break into Britain, your chance to win big. 40 grand.
Winning big, yeah, that's right.
They get more than that. Let's face it, they get a lot more than that.
Winning big. I hope we won't be taxed after we win. No?
I want to leave that picture up. Keep the kids away from the fireplace. Look. There you go. So if you want to go in if you want to break into Britain and chance to win big, 40 grand apparently now is the prize from Shabana Mahmood and Labour.
That's right.
Right, I'm going to let in the last guest this evening because I want to get on to something else before we go on too long. Raoul, good evening.
Good evening, guys. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well, my friend. Do you have a question for the panel?
Yeah, I've got a question. Well, it's more of a statement more than anything. Everyone keeps talking about. Yeah, thank you. Everyone keeps on talking about unity with this party and that party on the right. I think people need to make it very clear and understand that the unity was always there with Advance, with the collective group of membership people that it has, and the people within the college and so on. And then Restore came along. The problem was Restore's flipping attitude, smugness and snobberish at time to say, yeah, you guys can join us, pretty much fall in line. That's where the sort of problem came from. It wasn't that, we're on the same page, let's come together, we're brothers and sisters. It was nothing of that kind of tone at all. It was like, okay, you just come over here and you just do what you're told. And I think once everyone starts to understand, they see the bigger picture of what's really going on here. Because I was working from home today, and I was listening to a podcast, and it was a Restore podcast, because I like to hear different ideas and see what people are up to. And it was a podcast called The Roundtable. It was about 2 hours of listening to it. And I still remember the timestamp, 1 hour and 44 minutes, if you want to go find it. There was a chap on there called Matthew, and he said something that just nailed the coffin to everything I've been believing and what everyone's been talking as well. There is this snobberish, and they had a massive issue with Tommy. They were talking about Tommy Robinson. And I always had a vibe with Restore that they have this sort of issue with the working class, because if you carefully listen to them, they don't talk about the working class. They never talk about the working man that much. They're very obsessed on removing people, and they're very obsessed on identity and culture, and that's perfectly fine, and that's very crucial. But there's other policies. But where I picked up this little nail in the coffin was the chap called Matthew, where he turned around and said, Tommy sort of attracts these people who turn up to the UTK march, the underbelly, the underclass of society who like a drink and a dance. And when I heard that, I was like, I got you, son. I always knew it about you lot. Now, this guy he's not officially a part of them, but you hear these sniggering remarks from people close within that circle. And I was just like, geez, yeah, thanks. Thanks for confirming everything. I always knew it. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with Restore, because I want the best right-wing party to win. It's as simple as that.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Me. Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Like, if Advance are doing well, but someone else comes better, and there's like a good olive branch, merge it, do what you got to do. That's amazing. People talk about why can't we come together? I think it's that old boring conversation I think we need to move away from. Why we can't? Number one, egos. Number two, not just the egos of the individual running the party, but then it's the other ring around them which have their own egos as well, and protective positions and so on. Right. So guys, it's not going to happen for the time being anyway. I can tell you that now. It ain't. And that's what I want to sort of link it into, this very much vagueness that you hear from Restore, of a lack of correction. Paul, I was watching you the other night, great show, and you had that segment, was it the other night or day? I'm not too sure. And you were covering the Dan Wootton show, where you had 3 guests and the one lady from Restore, and she seemed like a pleasant woman, I guess, but she was so oblivious and so unaware what the 2 other guests were talking about, which is your marketing of perception of who you are as a product, because that's what a party is. It's a product. You're selling it to the wider audience. It's terrible from the get-go. You're so hyper focused on ethnicity. It's like, come on, people, middle ground people of society want to talk about your bills, your property tax. They want to talk about energy. They want to talk about inheritance tax. They want to talk about many of the things that go on in society, not just hyper focused on that. And I agree with you, Paul. We spoke the other night, we did, you and me. And I agree where you said, I think what we're preaching and what we're saying is going to come true. That I do think they're going to flatline with their membership. I think they're going to sort of slightly dip. I think people are going to wake up furthermore and realize, hold up, this isn't all what it's supposed to be. Because if you have this attitude now to a party that's very close in line with you, what is your attitude to the everyday working man and woman then? That takes, on a psychological point of view, you have to take that on board. And slightly the swaying into the other point, being an advanced member, I will stop talking in a minute, I promise. Being an advanced member, I don't know who's around Ben. I don't know who gives Ben advice, not his personal life, because he's a very successful man. But politics is a different game. It's about communication and marketing and so on. What I would say to Ben, if I had the opportunity to meet him, because I've done campaign work, I work in the financial sector. My clients are based in the Middle East. And what I always tell them is always take a step backwards. Never react to the first thing that comes to you. It's like someone's asked you a question, take a sip of that water, give it about 10 seconds, think, then react. And what I would say to Ben is stop banging on about Restore. Stop banging on about Rupert. He's doing this thing. He don't want nothing to do with you because you're coming across now a bit too needy. Stop it, please.
Yeah, I get
Focus
that.
on the policies. Start pushing the policies out. Start marketing yourself. Hey, look, I've got Sarah with me. Hey, I've got this other candidate with me. Put yourself out there a bit more. Advertise, because you're advertising, let's be honest, to an echo chamber. Restore are doing that, but their echo chamber is a bit bigger. But finally to this, and please, I'd like all four of your opinion. When Advance started, we had none of these problems. We never spoke about ethnicities.
Yeah.
We just spoke about illegals being removed, overstayers who then turn illegals, like overstayers in work and students, be removed. You know, foreign criminals will be removed. We were very sensible, very sensitive, very careful in our approach. It's them guys that gone hyperbolic. So this is why no one attacked Advance when it came to this concept of, are you racist? Who do you find is legitimate? Because our policies were very, very carefully looked at and very thought at as a devil's advocate to say, okay, if we have this policy, how is that individual going to react to that policy? Okay, it's bulletproof. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, over to you. Thanks for your
Raoul,
time.
that was an absolutely fantastic call, and I can't say that I disagree with a single word of it. It was brilliant.
That was great.
John, what's your reaction? Raoul, I'm going to keep you on live there. I'm going to mute your mic for a second, but I might bring you back in a minute, mate. Okay.
Yeah.
John, what's your reaction to what Raoul had to say there?
I think a lot of what he's saying is absolutely spot on. I mean, in terms of Restore's attitude to working class people, I've not really seen them talk about that too much. Rupert himself has been actually, much like Ben has, reasonably complimentary of Tommy, and I've not really seen him put him down or put his supporters down. I think he's probably tried to distance himself a little bit, but in the few interviews I've seen, he's been relatively complimentary.
Yeah, you have to be careful with Tommy, right? You have to handle the subject of Tommy with kid gloves, because we know how the media reacts.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm happy to nail my colours to the mast. I like the guy and I support the guy. And in a lot of things, I think he's been very, very unfairly maligned and labelled in a lot of the things that have been said about him. But you're absolutely right. The media have cast him in a certain light, and it's very difficult to get away from that. I think the problem that you've got is my personal take on this. I'm an outsider, right? I'm not connected to any of the political parties. I know you three guys are a little bit
neither
more...
am I now. Neither am I now.
But you were. What I'm saying is, you know these people. I didn't. My only connection to any of them, I was at the Advance Party launch 3-4 weeks ago with Baraka and with Sarah, and I was massively impressed. The policies were brilliant. The people I met were brilliant. The issue is, and again, we talked about this earlier, it's perception, it's limelight. And I was a little bit shocked, actually, because Nick Buckley, I thought, was an excellent candidate in Gorton and Denton. I actually thought he had a good chance of doing pretty well. He was a local guy. He knew the area, and I thought he was going to do reasonably well. And the fact that he only attracted a few hundred votes sort of took me aback a little bit. I was really quite shocked at that. And I think what that shows is that Advance at the moment, for whatever reason, and it's not their fault, just they don't register on people's radar. Most people are not aware of them. They're not
cutting the mustard at the moment.
That's going to be an uphill battle for them to try and fight. And however he's done it, Rupert has sort of captured the public attention a little bit more. And I'm not saying that that's because he's better in any way, but he just has. And it's a battle of the media. It's a battle of winning votes. It's a battle of getting bums on seats. And Nigel has been the main man in the driving seat for that for 20, 25 years. I think the issue with reform is that a lot of us have suspicions that they're a little bit too establishment, that they're a bit conservative 2.0, that they'll backtrack on a load of their policies. But we've got to be honest, they're the ones in the driving seats. And if we want a party to the right of centre, they're probably at the moment the one most likely to win. Doesn't mean I necessarily back them, but just being a realist, they're the ones in the driving seat.
Yeah, exactly. Baraka, any comments on Raoul's views there?
Hi, Ryan. Good to hear from you again. You're always a great caller, even on my show. Great guy. Yeah, I have to clap back on that a little bit. To be fair, you mentioned I don't know if it was just about the podcast, but maybe about the party. But you mentioned that they're not doing enough for the working class, or maybe they've not said or mentioned too much about the working class. But you have to understand how they let this thing. How I have to give Rupert credit for his marketing towards this launch. He prioritized the working class before then. I still think he still does with his, obviously with the grooming gang inquiry. That was full on working class. It was led by working class. The victims, all the victims are working class, young girls who were brutally had to go through unimaginable stuff that shouldn't be happening. And Rupert obviously put that first. And I think that works towards working class, families. Now it looks like the people who are now, we can obviously, it's a different story, but still I have to, that's my only issue on what you mentioned. But everything else that you said, I agree with it. But again, I'm going to repeat again, the reality, perception is the reality. So what the people see on the news, because right now there's an alleged that Ben Habib said the party is quote unquote tilted racist. Now, before going to this live, Ben Habib, Rupert himself came out and said, we are going full on tilted restore. So I don't know what he meant. I don't know what he meant by that. You can go on his live, you can go on his X profile and check that. So I'm thinking, hey, okay, so if somebody has just alleged that you're a racist party and you just tweeted saying we are going full on, what do you mean? So we're gonna have to see how they're gonna fix that, because now people are sitting here thinking, okay, if you said you're racist, now you're saying you're going full on. What does that really mean? We can't be playing this cold game. Maybe it's a way for them to keep us on our toes, to keep wondering, but the media will not do any wondering. Somebody's going to make a statement and they're going to quote them on that, and it's going to stick on the pie forever.
Yeah. Very well said, Brock. I agree. Sarah, any comments on that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing with the working class comment, I've heard that from other people, and I've seen it online where people do feel that it's a party that's not going to represent the working class. Again, it's not something I'm going to comment on, but it has been brought to my attention. With regards to Advance, we was doing incredibly well at the launch of, on the 7th of February of our policies. We done so well, like the vibe in the room, and just feedback from everybody, how great that they thought the policies were, and then going into the wider audience as soon as people managed to hear about the policies. Again, it was like, this is the party we want to be part of. The thing that concerned me the most was not Rupert starting a party. That's fine, he's entitled to start a party, and everybody is entitled to do whatever they want to do, because we want a democracy, and if we want a democracy, we have to support somebody starting a party. My issue was people that I thought was loyal to Advance to a party that was basically going to do what we'd already set out and had policies for. And I was thinking, well, hold on a minute. If I was Restore, I would be saying, you're coming over that easily, I'm going to question your integrity, because if something else comes up that's new and shiny, are you going to leave me as well? So I don't think I'd want all of them people just jumping like that, because if it wasn't an alliance that we was having, why are you coming? Why are you coming to me? Because now I don't trust you. And I said this the other day. It's like England, Germany at war, and France thought that Germany was winning, and they went off to Germany, and the Germans were like, no, you ain't fighting alongside us. You're fighting for us. I'd be a bit like that. And then if Restore doesn't do so great, are they going to think they're coming back to Advance? Because again, I'd be saying to Ben, we don't want them back. They've got no loyalty for me. And I've had messages all day saying, Sarah, go to Restore while you still got time. And I've said, my loyalties lie with Ben and with Advance. Ben has been incredibly loyal to me. He's been incredibly supportive, and so has the people in Advance. Even if that ship sinks and goes down, which I don't believe it will, my loyalties are still with Advance. And if it means whatever happens, good luck to anybody else. I wish everybody good luck, but I'm focusing on Advance, and I want us to succeed. So yes, our media needs to improve, and all of these things. We're new, so we've got as much time as everybody else. Nigel is not just Conservative 2.0; he's now Labour 2.0, because he's taking on people from Labour as well at an alarming rate. And the message that guy put out the other day, was it Clive Furness, when he said you know, I've got sympathy for refugees. I've got this, I've got that. And I was thinking, you're just spouting, you're a globalist. You're just you're just Labour. You're still Labour.
Baraka, go on, you had your hand up there, mate.
Yeah, accidentally. No,
oh, okay.
No, I wanted to kind of say that I think loyalty really in politics does not have. I don't think that loyalty has ever existed in politics.
It's none.
Never. I don't think if you're playing, because I understand Ben is a really good guy. I have to say, I've been on a call with him. I've talked to him, and we've had a couple of chats. We've made jokes. We've made satire videos, and you guys have seen them. But sometimes I think there needs to be some rule, like some brutal type of attitude where you gotta like break everything to win. It might sound bad, but sometimes it's needed. And I think that's what Advance needs as well. Because Advance is incredibly welcoming to everyone. Like, hey, anyone can come, anyone can join, anyone can do it. Now it looks like now the people online are literally just wiping the floor on them, and which is like they gotta toughen up a little bit and start punching as well.
The only thing I would say though, Baraka, I'm going to let you go, my friend, because I've really got so much to get in today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you so much, Ralph.
Great call. What I would say, Baraka, is that noise doesn't necessarily equal strength. You know, someone in the chat a minute ago said, "Do Restore make videos talking about, or do Restore supporters, not Restore." Because we got to separate, because what's going to be coming up in a minute is very, very important. We have to separate Restore, the party, and Rupert, the party leader, and his team. We have to separate them from some of their supporters. Now, we're not making videos about Restore. We're talking about Restore. We're talking about reform. We're talking about Advance. We're talking about trying to win our country back. It's a conversation. Okay, so we're not making videos about them, we're just talking about the topic. I did actually say no more callers tonight, but I've got one last one that I'm going to let in. No Chance. Good evening, mate. How you doing?
Good evening.
How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Good man. What's on your mind, mate?
Well, I was really going to make the point you made there, is a lot of the talk around Restore is based on random comments on X. It's based on, there was a caller earlier that said, I listened to a podcast and an hour and 40 minutes in, one person said this, therefore that is representative of the party.
Yeah.
And it's just, this is why a lot of people are comparing the reaction to Restore from people who are meant to be on the right as very left wing. Because you're all on media appearances asking for disavowals. You should prove you're not a racist, and it's just very left wing. It's like Patriot cancel culture. Do you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I get that. I tell you what, I mean, you're going to find the next or the last third of the show, the last quarter of the show, really interesting. Now, I tell you what, I think, it's a very good point. Look, you're absolutely right. And I'm going to make the next part of the show, I'm going to make it clear. The problems that some people have is not with Rupert. It's not necessarily with his team. It's about what Baraka said earlier on. It's about perception being the reality. Now, what we don't want to do is allow people to come along, be super noisy about all the wrong things. And in a minute, I'm going to give you an example of what I mean by people giving Restore and Rupert a bad name. And I'm going to show you why I believe that Rupert, in my own personal view, because you just said people being asked to disavow, etc. Well, I'm going to play something in a minute, mate. And what I want you to do is I want you to watch it really carefully. And I want you to answer in your heart whether you think that Rupert should actually put his hand out to Ben and say, mate, this has got nothing to do with me. Right. And certainly I'm going to use the word disavow himself from these comments and some of these people. It'd be interesting to see, look, you sound a very fair man. You're the guy I had on the other night, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the call, mate. And although there's probably things that we're going to disagree on, we ain't that far away on the same song sheet. I think our biggest difference is the way we would potentially go about it. I don't know. I don't know enough about you to be able to say that for sure. I think we probably believe in mostly the same things, but our approach might be slightly different. I don't know. But before I let you go, because I've got to get into this last part of the show, was there anything else you wanted to add to that?
All I would say is I don't think Rupert owes anyone anything. He's doing his own thing. He shouldn't need to. If you're talking, I don't know if the video you're going to play is Don Keith's video. He shouldn't need to look at random Twitter accounts and then say, Ben Habib, I'm so sorry. Or I disavow these comments. It's not Rupert's responsibility. It has nothing to do with him. It is just, as I said, very left-wing, very reactionary. And the way I look at it is there's no coincidence that a lot of the die-hard Tommy supporters are now die-hard Ben Habib supporters. They worship the person instead of the politics or the reality surrounding what's actually going on. Advance, I think John made a great point earlier. The reason a lot of people aren't talking about Advance is not because they have great policies. It's not because they have a solid college. It's just they didn't register on people's radar.
Yeah.
They seem to be the group that are screaming the most. They scream about division the most.
Is that
the most divisive?
Is that because of the leader? Do you think that's because of the leader, or because they just haven't got the? I don't know. Why do you think that they didn't have the impacts that perhaps they'd hoped? And is there any? Can you put your finger on anything and say that's why?
I think I mentioned to you last time I spoke to you. I understand people have a personal investment in this. I get that. They spent a lot of time, I'm assuming money, blood, sweat and tears, all that to build up Advance. And it just didn't play out the way they expected. And now they're attached to this as if it's like a child or it's something that they've created. It's like people that don't let a business fold and they just continue.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm certainly not that way. I'm, in fact, to some degree, for me to walk away from Advance was in some way, if I'm honest, a bit of a relief because, I've got a million other things in my life that I want to do. I don't really want to be sitting there for hours talking about policy and this and that. I've got better things to do if I'm honest, but, I did it because I believed in it. So I'm not emotionally, the only thing that I'm personally invested in emotionally is the saviour of our country and our culture and the saviour of the country that I grew up in. That's the only thing that I'm really emotionally invested in, apart from the other thing that I'm emotionally invested in, mate. I'll tell you what it is a bit of decency. Now, when you said it's not Rupert's job to apologise, I can go along with that. But you know what? From a gentlemanly viewpoint, if you had a few hundred people telling you, I'm talking about you personally now, if a couple of hundred of my close friends attacked you in a vile way, as a gentleman, I would reach my hand out to you and say, do you know what, mate, I'm sorry you're getting this thick. It's nothing to do with me and it's bloody horrible. But that's me as an individual. Rupert might be a different person. So whilst I agree it's not Rupert's job to apologise for something that he hasn't done, I believe it is his job if he wants to win a general election and become a serious political force that Middle England, Middle Scotland, Middle Wales, Middle Northern Ireland is going to get behind and vote for. He needs to maybe read the room a little bit better. Does that make sense when I say read the room? Read the country a little bit better.
I would say if you start the disavowal game now to a political party leader that really doesn't have any swing in the political game, it's not going to. You're going to continue disavowing for the next 3 years.
So where would you draw the line? Would you not disavow? So let's give you an example.
Can I just say something?
Let's use the real life example.
If you're going to want to be the potential prime minister of this country and represent the people of this country, if you can't reach a hand out to your friend and say, I don't agree with it, even though it didn't come from me, and I'm sorry that you're going through this, how are you going to stand up for people in this country and prevent? You're supposed to lead by example and prevent any further damage in the future when people want to start be in a certain way towards a certain type of people, it would nip things in the bud right now.
But
What the party stands for.
when you were talking about
Ben
being
and Rupert
gentlemen,
are friends. Friends.
well, I think Ben soured that relationship because on a number of occasions, Rupert attempted to deal with things behind closed doors, and then Ben kept airing things out publicly via tweets, via videos, and then there's voice notes being leaked. That's not a friendly thing to do. If my friend was doing that to me, I wouldn't feel I owed them a public apology when I've been trying to deal with things privately.
Where did you get, can I just ask you, where did you, just one sec, Sarah, where did you get that information that Ben tried to sort things out behind closed doors? Sorry, that Rupert tried to, where did you get that info from?
From the public domain.
Who's that?
He put it on Twitter himself saying we've offered the handout, we'd prefer to deal with this privately.
I
let me talk to him.
Necessarily believe what you see here online.
I'm sorry. Which public domain? Because Rupert tweets every single day. He tweets more than 7 times a day. Yeah, don't ask me how I know. What did you get your information from? His tweet? His party?
Right, let me get this straight. So we've not to take Rupert's words seriously, but we've to take all comments from random Twitter accounts seriously, and we must disavow them publicly through Rupert's own words. It's very confusing.
I just want to know your source, because I know my source, who has, obviously you probably know and watched the video of Ben saying, I've not received anything from Rupert. And Rupert hasn't come out and said, hey, I texted him, I tried to keep it privately. Where did he say that? Where are you getting your information from?
He's posted it himself online.
Where? Hey, my team is watching this. Could you get that, please?
Or his team, either Rupert or his team has said we prefer to deal with it privately.
Okay,
These public displays aren't helpful. But then you're then taking someone else. You're taking Ben Habib's word that he tried to deal with it privately.
Well, I'm actually not. And what I'm going to do is, because what I don't want to do is, I don't want 2 or 3 of us ganging up on one person, because it makes it look like, so I'll just want to finish on this with you, mate. And thank you very much for coming on again. Great call. Love the discussion. Brilliant. I am privy to emails that have been sent from Ben to Rupert, and there has been no response. Look, and the reason that I asked you what your source is because it's very easy to say this, that, or the other. We can all do that, but I actually do have the receipts where that is concerned. Now, again, I'm not, for all the Rupert fans out there, for all the Restore fans out there, I'll say it for the millionth time, I'm a Rupert fan. I want to support Restore. I want them to win the next general election, right? I'm here to tell the truth now. I'm no longer a member of Advance. I've backed away. But what I will do is I will tell the truth. And we do have a slightly different opinion about something that's going to come up now. Mate, I hope you stay on the show and watch what's going to come up now. And next time I'm on, please come on and let me know what you think about what I'm going to show you in a moment. Is that okay?
Yeah. Can I just finish on one last thing?
Yes, mate. Yes, absolutely. Of course
User Advance insiders. Well, you were, Paul. You said you've stepped away. I know Sarah works with Advance. So we've to take Advance insiders' word, but not Restore insiders' words for things that have happened.
No, I wouldn't. What word have I not accepted?
Well, the people around, it was either Rupert or the team around him said that they've tried to reach out privately, or they prefer things done privately.
Sorry. I think, weren't it that they said it's no good keep doing things in public? I think that's what they said.
Yeah.
However, Ben has tried to reach out behind closed doors and to no response. That was the issue. So he said, you've left me no alternative but to do it public because you're not responding to me behind closed doors.
The only thing I would say,
that unity or division.
Yeah, that wasn't a good. Sarah, I've got to be honest. This is where I'm gonna. I mean, look, Ben. I hope Ben. I think Ben may even be watching tonight. I don't know, but let me tell you this now, right? I will tell Ben the truth, and I don't think that was a good idea. I think it was a mistake. That's my own opinion.
You need to consider everything that's going on as well. You've launched a party. There's been an influx of memberships. There's been an influx of emails. I'm sure people are extremely busy, but then he's to spend his time addressing Ben Habib's issues. Like, I'm sure he would have got round to it at some point, but
he deserves a bit better than that.
He has time to retweet random accounts with AI profiles, and you telling me he doesn't have time to respond to Ben? Come on.
Well, I'm hoping what I'm hoping to do. Sorry, John, I know you've been a bit quiet there, John, but I'm coming to the most important part of the show, because what I'm hoping to do tonight, I'm actually hoping to put this to bed once and for all, because, you know, as always, mate, thank you so much for coming on, by the way. I appreciate it, and I'll speak to you next time.
Good
all the best,
luck.
mate.
have a good one.
Cheers, mate. All the best. Bye. What I want to do tonight, hopefully, is try and put things to bed once and for all. Now, as I've just spoken, look, we all know that I resigned from Advanced UK last week and its college, and my reasons for doing so were simple. I wanted to be honest and neutral with my audience, and that was always going to prove impossible whilst I held a position within and, you know, was talking to Ben on a daily basis. And look, as we move forward, Rupert Lowe and Restore is also going to need a lot of help and a lot of support if he's going to succeed in his quest to become our next Prime Minister, right? We all know that. Now, if a general election comes earlier than expected, the reality, which we've all spoken about again tonight, and John mentioned it earlier, the reality is that we may have to hold our nose and vote reform. My truth is, I wanted two great men to come together. And look, we can blame whoever we want for that not happening, and you can side with whoever you want. My job is to try and bring my view as the truth and the evidence, more importantly, the evidence, wherever possible. Sorry, just 1 second. So anyway, right. So today a voice note was released of Ben Habib, during which he referred to Restore and he used the word racist, and it wasn't a good look, and it's gone down like a lead balloon, and Ben's popularity over the last week or so has taken a bit of a hit. And my message during all of this time has been clear and simple. I do not believe, right? So just please everyone watch my lips when I say this. I do not believe that Rupert Lowe is a racist, and neither do I believe that Restore as a party are racist. And I can't make that any clearer. I want to support Rupert and Restore. So why did Ben say what he said? Why is Ben feeling so hurt? And when I say hurt, I mean Ben's feeling mortally wounded right now. He's a man that was raised as a child on Commando magazines. Stories of World War I and World War II and the heroes and the British Empire. He was educated here. All his friends were here. He grew up in this country, and his mum is a patriotic English rose. And Ben is a man that has been fighting our cause for years alongside Nigel Farage and Rupert Lowe, a man who, if you cut him in half, would look like a piece of Union Jack rock. Everything was going well for Ben and Advance, and then all of a sudden, almost overnight, everything changed and some hideous abuse started. And lots of people have said to me, well, you know what, Paul, what abuse? What are you going on about? What are you talking about? You're making this stuff up. Well, in a moment, I'm going to show you the receipts in a 3-minute compilation of pure and utter hatred. Watch this, everyone. Now, I cannot repeat what is on this clip I'm going to play you, right? But I want you to read it, and I want you to read it very carefully. And again, I'm going to reiterate, this did not come from Restore or from Rupert or from any of Rupert's team, but it did come from people who support Rupert and Restore. Now, earlier on, someone said to me, we're putting Restore down. No, not at all. We're trying to protect them. We're trying to protect them from shit like this, right? And I'm warning you, if you're easily shocked, right, you don't want to read this. Here we go. I'm gonna Now, all your mics are going to still be on, right? So be careful what you say. I'm just going to play it. Are you ready for this, everyone? I'm warning you, it ain't pretty. Now, I haven't got to say too much during this. This stuff speaks for itself. This has all been aimed at Ben over the last 2 weeks. And it has started only after the 7th of February and the advance event. Now, obviously, I can't read these out because if I read these out, my channel would close down in about 30 seconds, right? And I need to put this up as well so that anyone watching is not going to accuse me of saying these things myself. Do you get the drift, people? Do you get the message? Do you get why Ben has been upset? Do you get why Ben has been angry? Do you get why Ben feels that he deserved a bit of backup? Because I tell you what, I do.
Yeah.
And if this was happening to a friend of mine, someone that's supposedly a friend, and if this was coming from my so-called supporters, I will be on the phone to that person to disavow these comments to that individual. And this is what we've been saying, right? This is not aimed at this is not aimed as a criticism of Restore. This is trying to help him. This is trying to help Rupert, right? Rupert needs to get a grip with this. Just look at the comments. I mean, I don't know if you want to sit through 3 minutes of this, but it gets worse and worse and worse and worse.
And by the way, this is just public, so never mind the DMs that you probably receive.
Yeah.
Now, do you know what? Where are we? We are, do you know what? Sod it. I'm going to let it play out. I'm going to let it go. Ben Habib is a thoroughly decent human being, right? He does not deserve this shit for trying his damnedest to save our country.
There's no one more patriotic than him either. He knows everything about.
Does anyone want to put their name to this, Sarah? Does anyone want to put their name to this and put their hands up and say, I'm proud of attacking a man that has done what he's done? He spent years in the European Parliament fighting for the United Kingdom.
Mm.
Ben has told me personally he's never experienced racism in this country.
No.
Never experienced racism. That's one of the reasons that he loves it so much. And look at this, all in the last 2 weeks. There you go. Unbelievable, right? John, what do you make of that?
Well, it's obviously disgusting. It's just disgraceful. It's unacceptable. I think when people say they've never experienced racism in this country, it's a really, I think there's a substrata, there's a sub layer of people in this country. It's only a small percentage, but they're raving loonies. I mean, I get it, weirdly enough, if I put posts out that, for example, you get the whole Tommy Robinson is a Zionist type thing. Yeah. I've had so many people call me really quite nasty names around supporting Jewish people, being a Zionist.
Oh, yeah.
And they really go in on me when I've never said anything along those lines whatsoever. And they are genuine old school Nazis. Their symbolism, the words they use, the phrases they come out with. I don't think it's a very big percentage of the country, but there are groups of people out there that literally steam straight into you. I mean, some of the names I get called, it makes me laugh. It's water off a duck's back. It's a bit of, I couldn't care less. People can come at me as much as they like. I've never blocked anyone in my life. Bring it on. I'll have it with you if you really want to. But I get it. And I'm not even involved in this fight. So it doesn't surprise me that that's been sent to Ben. It's horrible. It's wrong. And I absolutely make you right in the sense that if he's getting that sort of abuse and if Rupert is aware of it, he may not be that aware of it. He probably has not seen that to the extent you just played it. But if he thinks that the thing is, are these people genuinely Restore supporters? I don't think they are. I think they are the extreme far right that we all get accused of being, which none of us are. But I think they are the genuine.
This is the thing, mate, and I want to repeat this before I go on to the others. Of course, right? I have to keep saying it. This was not sent by Rupert Lowe. It's not his responsibility. It was not sent by his team. It was not sent by Restore. No one is saying or suggesting that it was. But it was very clearly, because it mentions it, sent by some of their supporters, or allegedly some of their supporters. Now, they could be agitators. Either way, Rupert should address it. And I think he needs to call this.
I think he has a problem, because if he doesn't address it, then it gives the whole media and the whole wider world a very, very big prickly stick to beat him with.
Yeah.
So whether he wants to address it or whether he doesn't want to address it, if he doesn't, then he's stupid, because it is something that's going to come back and bite him in the arse if he doesn't.
Absolutely. You know, and as I said, if you don't mind me saying, a quick call to Ben will be a nice touch, and I think the honourable thing to do. So why did Ben say what he said on that leaked WhatsApp message today? Right? So understandably, Ben's angry. He's upset. And after looking at that, he has every goddamn right to feel angry and upset. If he's guilty of anything, he's been guilty of trying too hard, trying to please too many people, and a mere slip of the tongue on a WhatsApp message that he's actually sent to a friend, whoever it was, and they've spat it out, that's being used to attack him all over again. Yes, Ben used the dreaded word racism, and ain't we all sick to frigging death of hearing that one, right? We're all sick of that word. But can any fair-minded person watching that thing that I've just played there tonight honestly tell me that they can't see Ben's point?
100%.
Yeah, I mean, Ben is hurt. You can tell he's hurt. I was on a call with him this morning. He's hurt.
Yeah.
Not that on the call he was crying and stuff. Of course not.
No, he's not
we're
that
man.
sort of guy.
We talk
He's
big
right.
stuff.
He's rightly hurt. How come, Baraka, how have you switched over?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I know. Sarah just took my place.
He wants his best side to show.
That's right.
Sarah, we're going all Islamic, right? Ready? There you go.
I know. So what I was saying there, I think if anyone was to take my phone and play the messages me and Sarah, or me and Paul, or me and Richard, or any other message with me and my private friends, of course you're gonna see something like, you know, because we're just gonna see, we're not in public, right? I think everybody has those friends who you just lash out to. Yeah. And now we have to ask the question: since when did we have people on the right that are willing to snake each other like this? That's the question we need to ask, because that is a witch hunt right there. Somebody. Now, when you look at the screenshot, you can tell they're talking about something else. Now, what is that? What is that comment about? Well, when you play the video, it says, you know, they've gone full tit racist, right? And when you look at the top of the message, it's completely nothing to do with Restore. So what are they talking about? One person might make that case. Okay, maybe that case might fumble. But then again, you just play this video. Now, that is just public information out there that people are just commenting on his post or Restore Britain's post, commenting about Ben, which obviously you can easily go and find it. As soon as you go on X, go to Restore Britain, go to their comments, you will see a lot of it. Now, those are just public information. Never mind the people who actually have the gut to text you. The way, if I was to go my messages and just open X and just go to request, and all I like, obviously I can't show you this stuff, but I get stuff like this, like easily, like, yeah, you're getting deployed, all this stuff. It's like hundreds of them I get a lot, and I'm not even famous. I don't get that many views than Ben. So imagine how many information or how many texts Ben has received. And then today, you would think somebody will come out and reach an arm and be like, all right, bro, I understand you're hurt. You've made this accusation. Let's say Rupolo came out and be like, all right, this is a dangerous accusation. All right, I'm going to reach out to you, privately, and let's talk. It looks like that has not taken place. Maybe I could be wrong, because as I speak right now, 3 p.m. today, a post was made by Restore Britain, and it says, I'm going to quote, literally, I'm looking at it right now. It says, go full tilted for Restore. Okay, so if Ben said, oh, Restore has gone full tilt racist, and now they've just made a post saying, go full tilted for Restore, what does that really mean? Do you think that stops those people who have been attacking him? Or do you think that encouraged them? These are the questions that we need to ask. Because somebody with a normal brain will be like, actually, no, let's not go full tilted, because that's a strong accusation. We do not want to put fuel in this fire that's already lying, that's already causing havoc in the nation. But of course, go full tilted. I don't know, I'll leave it there, but it looks like it's not going to stop anytime soon. The only way to do it is just not to engage with those two. Cannot engage anymore. That's my opinion. And that is very sad to say that.
Like I said, what's this? Glenn says, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me or harm me. Ben has to have this attitude with these trolls. Look, I get that. John, I'm going to sort of kind of bring the show towards an end now. I've got a few supers I want to read out. Sorry, this one is the only CalMax. Sarah, you're an inspiration for women. Baraka, you are as English as all of us. The ethno-nats don't speak for the English. Come to Margate for a pint.
Let's go.
Yes.
Appreciate you. Let's go,
Charlie. I know everyone's feeling shit with this government, but if it makes you feel better, Crystal Palace are beating Tottenham 3-1, and that is how it ended up. I'm going to come back on something there. Do you know what? Because this is what friendship is about, right? This is what adults do, and this is why you shouldn't be frightened of science. Now, that lovely person there has just said to Baraka, you're as English as I am. Baraka, I'm sure you will be the first to admit that ethnically you're not English. It's not a crime. It's not me having a go at you. I mean, look at me. I'm not ethnically Japanese, and if someone says I'm not ethnically Japanese, I'm not going to be offended.
Can I just say something? Sorry, Paul. Finish what you're saying.
Yeah, go on. Sure. No, yeah, sure. But just because of that, we don't have to make it such a big deal, do we? We don't have to start battering each other around the head about it. It is what it is. Go on, Sarah.
No, so my dad, both of his parents were from Ireland, one Dublin. Just before he was born, they moved to England. He was born in England. He always said, I'm English, Irish descent. But if you look at, so if people want to be pedantic about it, I'm half Irish from my dad. My mum is a mixture of English, Irish, there's a bit of Russian in there.
Oh, you're going.
Actually, so Ben is more English than me.
You're off. You're going.
Hi, Felicia.
And the funny thing is, you know what, John? The funny thing is, the Americans have a better way of doing it. They have African Americans, they have Polish Americans, they have Italian Americans. Look, they're all Americans, but they recognise their roots, their history. Look, we don't want to be like, I'm not saying we want to be like America. I'm not saying that before everyone starts jumping on me. But what I'm saying is we don't have to get into this ethnicity stuff, DNA bullshit. I think it's a distraction, although it's an important thing, but it's a distraction right now.
No, I think
divide and conquer tactics. That is what it is. It's divide and conquer, because ultimately we all know and we can all agree that we want people that shouldn't be here, that have come here illegally, to be deported. We can all agree on that. We can all agree that people that don't respect our culture, our faith, our history, our flag, should be deported, because why be here if you're against those things? But
correct.
For people like Baraka, the abuse that you've received, I got in touch with you straight away and I said, I'm sorry that you're receiving this. Same with Based and Bougie. As far as I'm concerned, I want to live in a safe, fair and secure country and I want to leave behind a safe, fair and secure country for future generations. Now, that doesn't mean that we all have to be white. Because let's face it, there's a lot of white people who I would not want to live next door to because they don't contribute to the system. They're not very nice people. So why can't we just all get on? And as long as Baraka loves this country, he knows about our history, he respects our culture.
Baraka, do you accept? I mean, this is. I mean, look, again, this is what being friends is all about. This is what having an adult conversation is all about. John, sorry, I'll bring you in a minute, mate.
That's
sorry,
okay,
John is watching.
No. I want to ask you, Baraka. I mean, do you agree? I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel this way. So if you want to be offended by it, feel free.
Yeah,
I do believe that the United Kingdom should predominantly remain a white Christian country, because that is our heritage, that is our history. And I want to see our nation survive, and our race and our culture, all of those good things. Does that offend you?
No, I don't think it should offend anyone. I think the fact that if somebody's offended by that, then they are the problem. They are here to obviously trying to take away the thing that has existed here for a very long time.
But does that make me a racist? Does that make me a racist for saying that?
That doesn't make you a racist, of course not. But when you go to an extent that we've seen on X, where now it's like, hey, you can't speak on this because you're black. It's like, hey, what the? Now it's not longer about keeping predominantly white Christian. Now it's just like, hey, we're gonna come for you because you're speaking.
Yeah,
and it makes zero sense because right now Ben Habib is getting like the attacks that he's getting publicly. You just played a 3 minutes video. And plus, the guy didn't really get to the very end because if you keep going, it might be like a 15 minutes video go on. But the attacks that he's getting for just like what, for doing what exactly? For
trying to save the country.
A party that's existed longer than Restore Britain. That's why he's been attacked. And I want to leave it for John. I think John has a lot to share.
Yeah, go on, John.
All I was going to say on this subject of race and ethnicity and stuff, I've been around a long time, right? So I was at school in the 70s and then in the early 80s. And there was quite a lot of racism around then. And then I think we evolved as a country. And I would say from sort of the mid-90s through to maybe 2010, I thought as a country, we'd pretty much cracked it. I think we had got things on a level par. I think it had gone away to a large extent. Things seemed on an even keel. And I think the reason it's come back is because it's been done to us by governments. We've had so much mass immigration. We've had, more recently, we've had the illegal immigration. We're clearly seeing all the crimes that have gone on committed by some of the illegal immigrants, the people staying in the hotels, etc., etc. And what that's done is it's reignited something that I think we had previously put to bed. And I've got to admit, and I'm going to be brutally honest here, I sometimes catch myself having thoughts thinking, Jesus, am I becoming a racist? Because actually, whilst I would never agree in a million years with any of the things that have been said to Ben or put on there, I do catch myself thinking, what the fuck are we doing with some of these people, and why are we allowing this to go on in our country? And I do echo what Paul just said about, I've got no issue on a personal level with anyone of any skin colour, any race, any ideology whatsoever. But at heart, I want to preserve our culture. I want to preserve our traditions. I want to preserve this country as it was when I grew up. And I think if we do run the danger of it changing beyond the tipping point and going too far, and the demographics changing too far. And if you look at the demographics in a lot of our cities, whether that's London or Birmingham or Manchester, white people now are a minority. They're down to 37, 38, 40%. At its heart, is that a problem? Not necessarily, but if it changes the culture beyond recognition, if it changes the traditions, the language, the shops, the food, everything else, at what point does England or Ireland or Wales or Scotland stop being England or Ireland?
I was going to say, it's a death of a nation, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's what's happened. I think it's been done to us. And as I say, I think there was a sweet period between maybe the mid-90s and about 2010 when I genuinely think we cracked it. And it was a welcoming country to everyone. We had the balance right. And now, because of what's been done to us in terms of immigration, unfortunately, it's all flaring up. It's all coming to a head again. How we resolve that, I think, is resolving the problem at its core, which is the amount of people that are coming into the country too quickly.
And we got
demographic.
we have to, without any shadow of a doubt, we have to start shipping a lot of people out. You know, I go back to the start. You know, to advance these policies. You know, all the illegals, we stop the boats, we get rid of the illegals, we get rid of the foreign-born criminals. You know, out here in Spain, if you commit a crime of a certain level, your visa is cancelled, you're gone.
Yeah.
Right? No bullshit, no armed robberies, 6 years in prison, and then, you know, cutting after 3 and then you're back out on the dole. Gone. Get out. You're not wanted here.
But you know what it does as well is it harms the genuine people. So at the moment now,
of course it does.
The word refugee, the word asylum seeker, everyone's, oh, no, we don't like them. We don't want them here. Get rid of them. The reality of the situation is there are some genuine people in that group. And what you're doing now is you're judging everyone by judging a book by the same cover. So every single person who's a refugee, every single person that's an asylum seeker gets judged by the bad apples. And that's just because we've got the system completely wrong. So by allowing everyone in, by allowing everyone to do what they want, you've actually harmed the people that are the genuine people.
Sure.
And the legal migration is a massive problem.
It is,
because a lot of the legal migration, it should be capped at a certain amount each year. Because if you look at the illegal, it was 60,000, and then it's been something like 840,000 of legal. But out of that, what changes into illegal by coming here on a work visa?
Yeah, I mean, staying.
By coming here on a student visa and bringing family members and not actually studying, and then overstaying and never going home. So it needs looking at, and it has been done by government. It has. It's been, like you say, we was at a sweet spot. It was great, but I walked through Whitechapel recently, and then because I do go into the East End a lot, and at the end of the day, I was the only white person that I went past, that I never went past another white person for 5 minutes in Whitechapel. That's not right. It's not right.
Yeah.
So things do need to be done, but that's not us saying that we're going to go in a direction of getting rid of every single person that's not white English or white British. It doesn't work. That's not going to work. It's impossible.
Baraka, by the way, if they do kick you out, mate, can I have your mic?
I'm going to tap you lot up for some tips. My setup is useless.
Nigel,
I think your mic is way better though.
But no, I like the look of yours. Nigel Farage, Rafe Heidelman-Koo, great guy. I had him on the show before from New
really
Culture
good,
Forum. Reform believes 2029 is our last chance due to the centre-right voters dying out. It's a very good point. I might not even be here by then. Who bleeding knows? Netchema Gluck, thank you very much. Dear Paul, can you check on Lubna when you get a chance? She was on the live stream hours ago and it ended abruptly when someone was banging on her door. If you can make sure she's safe, that would be great. Well, the good news is I've already spoken to her. Yes, she is okay. Jack, thank you very much, Jack. Really appreciate that, mate. Nigel Farage again. I love that name, don't you? Look, Nigel Farage. That's so clever. Rupert and Reform, along with the centre-right think tanks, are a closed shop, not open to outsiders. Thank you for that, mate. Gaming with Yam Yam. Baraka, Yam, great. You got a big British heart.
Cheers, gaming with Yum Yum. Be watching
Tish,
gaming with Yum Yum.
Tish, we need an explanation why Rupert won't talk to Ben face to face. Yes, caller. Look, he hasn't got to. He's not obliged to.
Well, it would be nice if he does.
But it'd be nice if he did, yeah. Especially when we're trying to unite. Visual UK. Baraka, love your show, bro. And of course, yours, Paul. Thank you very much. This is the thing. All those bloody nutters out there having a go at us, calling me a lefty. Mate, John, I've been called a lefty, a traitor, a race traitor. You name it, mate. I tell you what, I mean, the only person that calls me worse names is my wife, right? So I'm used to it.
With her.
I'm used to it.
I'll give you an example, a brief example, guys, right there. There's a video I put on Instagram and on Facebook about 3-4 days ago. And it was I can't remember the guy's name. He was a black fella, and he was going on about how he considers himself to be English, considers himself to be British. He's proud to be British, proud of our cultures, proud of our traditions. It was a really brilliant, heartfelt, quite sweary sort of video, but he was brilliant, the fella. So I put a quick clip on before it and saying, I 100% support this fella, 100% consider him to be British, blah, 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 and then played his video and then finished it off with the abuse I got for sticking up for this fella. You're not a true Brit, you're not true English, he should get out of the country, blah, blah. It's bonkers. And yet this fella, he had an accent like mine, he's clearly lived here all of his life, he was as English as British as they could come, and just for sticking up to him, you then get abuse yourself. There are, unfortunately, in a country of 75, 80 million people, there's a sizable chunk of loonies out there, and you just got to put up with it.
John, there's a question, right? That's the whole point. So that guy that you're talking about there, DNA, scientifically wise, is not traditionally English, right? If you look at the DNA, he's going to have DNA from another part of the world, right? But what the frigging hell does that matter when he's got an attitude like he's got? Why are we talking about?
It's a really tricky question, isn't it? Because at what point do you become a nationality? Because is it one generation back? Is it 2 generations back? Is it 5 generations back? Or is it purely based on ethnicity and skin color and DNA? Because
we can argue about this.
It might be his great-great-grandparents. He might have been here for 5 generations, which in my book makes him as English as me. Or is it?
We can argue.
How do you judge these things? It's so difficult to know how you figure it out.
You could argue about it till you're blue in the face, you know, till the cows come home, right? It ain't going to change a goddamn thing. What is going to change is doing what's running at the bottom of the screen there, registering to vote and voting for the right political people.
Right.
Hartford, how you doing, brother? Absolutely disgusting. Ben is a lovely fella. Regards, Linford. Evening, Paul, Baraka, Sarah and John. FP, Sarah did a magnificent interview with Patriot Media at the weekend. You should check it out. Sarah is now more Northern Ireland than me.
Yes, that was a great one.
I'll tell you what,
it was really good.
She'll be saying your man soon. Go on, Sarah.
I'll just say about, sorry, Paul, I know I keep, but the whole thing with Northern Ireland, this is why I'm trying to, because they're about 30 years behind us with regards to immigration, because we're only just getting the illegal immigration now, and they're really pushing back against it. And what I'm saying to them is, don't become what we've become. Let your diversity just be Catholic and Protestant. Let that, if you want to preserve your nation, let that be the massive, your only sort of diversity. Don't and have it where you've got just the legal migration comes in a trickling amount, and then it's okay, and you preserve your culture and everything.
Yeah, Nina,
going out there so much.
Nina, thank you. In Cyprus, we are called English Greek. Love you all from an English Greek. Thank you very much, Nina. Rosie, is that Rosie? Yeah, Rosie. It's getting late and my eyes are getting tired. DEI narratives mess so much up in the West. Love to Ben and all you guys. I hope we can unite on the right one day soon. We will, because we have to. We have no bloody choice. It's not a matter of we haven't got a choice. Keith, how do we bring people together? By talking, Keith, by getting this stuff out in the open and agreeing that we can never agree on everything, right? That we're never going to agree on everything, right? But we all know the difference between right and wrong. The only CalMac, Paul, I don't know if you were there. Is this absolute meltdowns? Hold on, let me start again. Paul, I don't know if you know, there is this absolute meltdown south talking shit on YouTube about you. He's quite large with glasses. Mate, I don't know, mate.
He's quite large with glasses.
Right, guys, I don't know what you thought of the show tonight. I mean, I've had 3 magnificent guests on, absolutely brilliant. Let us know. Give me points out of 10. 5 out of 10, 1 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Stick it in the chat because it all helps with the algorithm. Please give me an upvote. Don't forget to get over to subscribe to John. Give your channel a shout out again.
So I'm on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, blah, 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 blah. So you can find me. My main name is The Ordinary Guy Rant is where you can find me most on YouTube and on Facebook, The Ordinary Guy Rant. Or John H. If you do a search on either of those, you'll find me.
Baraka. Well, everyone knows where Baraka is anyway. So
not really. It's my name, last name, Baraka Amuri. That's everywhere. Just put the Baraka Show. I think that's recognized everywhere. Cheers.
Sarah?
YouTube is Sarah White 85. X is Advanced Sarah, and Instagram is Advanced UK Sarah. Just different on everything.
Bloody women, always awkward. Let's have a look. Last super chat of the evening. I'm going to be in big trouble. Let me just read this. Alvin Cleveland 7110. I think that's Ty Barton. It. You are using left-wing tactics, subtle digs at Rupert and spearing him with guilt by Restore not far right. Right, okay. So you're using let me deal with
Put
this.
that to bed.
You're using left-wing tactics. Really? Have you not listened to what we've said? Subtle digs at Rupert and spearing him with guilt by association. You've definitely not listened what I've said.
No, absolutely.
Restore are not far right, and you are bringing again. You're not listening to what I've said, and you're not bringing unity by making snide comments. I haven't made one single snide comment.
No, just a quick question on that, Don.
Go on, yeah, go on.
How can we unite when those videos, that the one that you've played, are still those people are still posting the same thing? How would that be? How can you unite with that?
Mate, my answer is this: is that you can explain it to people, right? But you can't understand it from. You know, if this gentleman here, Alvin, and I'm not having a dig at you, Alvin, mate. I'm just telling you as it is, brother. Right? I'm just telling you how I feel on what I see in front of me. We've been online for 2 hours now, right? And I think we've explained this very well. I've made my position very clear. How many more times have I got to say to you people that I support Rupert and would potentially support Restore? But they're going to win fuck all if they've got people on X trying to associate themselves. It's friendly, critical advice. Rupert doesn't need my advice, right? But my job as a YouTuber, as a political commentator, is to offer an opinion. That's why, on average, 2,500 people watch my show live, and another 20,000 will watch it over the next couple of days. It's my job to have an opinion. So thank you very much for the super. I really appreciate it. John, brilliant to have you on, mate. I hope you come on again.
Loved it, mate, and much appreciate the invite. First time I've done one of these, and loved every minute of it. So I would love to come back.
It was good, wasn't it? It was a good show, Baraka.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it.
I enjoyed it. Great
Sarah,
discussion.
I'm glad we're
Sarah,
friends
don't
again.
come back.
Sarah, I'm glad we're friends again. Apparently, we've made it up. So
I'm just gonna. I'm just putting it out there. Me and Paul have never and will never.
say that again, because you just.
Sorry, I said we have never and will never fall out because we are adults and we've got common sense and we like one another and respect each other.
Exactly.
Simple.
Exactly. So come on, boys and girls, before we go, please give us a thumbs up and let me know in the chat how many points out of 10 do we get for the show tonight. Is it a 1 out of 10, 5 out of 10, a 10 out of 10?
Like the
There you
show.
go. This is what I like to see. Look, 10
That's
out
right.
of 10.
Be like Andy,
Lovely,
folks.
lovely
Be like
stuff.
Andy.
Lovely stuff. Keep them
Shout out,
coming.
Andy.
Keep them coming. Right, guys, thank you so much for coming on, everyone. Much appreciated. Richard and I will be back on, where are we? Tonight. What's today? Friday
Tonight.
now. Yeah. Later on tonight, it's Friday.
Oh no,
Well,
he's an hour ahead.
I'm an
Friday
hour
for you,
ahead.
not for us.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was gonna say.
4 minutes past midnight for me.
Gonna work
I'm
harder
going to
than
go.
me.
I'm going to go to bed, and I'm going to try and get over my football team putting in their worst performance of the season last night. Richard and I will be back this evening, Friday evening. So love to everyone. Thanks for coming on, and we'll see you all soon. Stay there, guys. I'll stay in the green room, and I'll say goodbye after the outro.
Cheers.